I left the junior club East Sandringham and went to St Kilda. It was just up the road, and I walked in there and played. The first year I played in the reserves. Second year I managed to scrape in 4 games, but ended up on the 4th game out at Waverley. I ended up in hospital for 7 weeks with kicked in kidneys. So that was the end of that year. The next year I managed to get another 5 games, and I thought, no, it's time for me to go. This is just not going to happen. And at that stage Travis Pays was leaving Dandenong and going to leaving St Kilda and going to coach Dandenong, and a deal was struck that I was going to, along with a few other players, and so hence I ended up at Dandenong. Probably after 3 years at Dandenong, I was building a house at Seaford the next year, so I told them I couldn't play, and the next thing I know, I was going to play with Frankston for a year while I was building the house, and Gary Guy was going to go to Dandenong. So it was just a swap. Gary Guy had won the best and fairest at Frankston, I'd won it at Dandenong, and we just did a swap. Well, after Frankston, after that year I went back to Dandenong, which, you know, probably is one of my regrets. But what happened was, that was the period when the tax department was going through all the football clubs, and there were, you know, obviously monies to pay back and fines as well. Now, it was nothing to do with my year at Frankston, that was all fine, but Dandenong were part of the settlement with tax and the players. Dandenong was paying the fine, and I didn't think it was fair to stay at Frankston and for them to pay the fine, because I made it quite clear, look, I've got to go back because, you know, there's a fine here and they're going to pay it. So that's why I went back. But I mean, we were supposed to go back, but Gary Guy stayed there. So that's how I left Frankston. Played 1 year, grand final, and left. About 2 or 3 years at Dandenong when I went back. I'm not sure. I really, you know, I was told I was captain for a year, but in the end I just couldn't get a kick. So it was time to get out. I don't think I was pushed, but it was quite obvious that, you know, I couldn't perform how I used to. I don't think I played good football after I went back from Frankston, to be quite honest with you. That would be my honest statement. But I was still made captain. It must have been the 2nd or 3rd year I was back there, but I don't think I played good football. I mean, you know when you play good football and when you have a bad day, and even although I can't remember kicks and handballs or whatever, you know, I can remember some of the handballs I didn't get, but yeah, so it was time, you know. Obviously I'd either lost interest or I'd lost the skill of reading the game, and so I thought that I read the game very, very well. I knew where the ball was going to be, so I had that ability. I guess in later years, people tell you you're too slow, and you sort of realise where you're slow. But I mean, I got away with it. So, but see, I left junior football as a high-flying forward. You go to St Kilda and you end up in the back line. You know, my first game, I came on halfway through the 3rd quarter at the old Linton Road, you know, Moorabbin, and I've gone straight up the back of the forward line. It's a howling gale from the south. The ball came up a couple of times, and I did some good work. I mean, we could have had 2 goals against the wind, which would have, you know, Johnny Manzi running into 2 open goals after he got the ball to him. But anyway, so I think I'm rubbing my hands together. Next quarter's my chance on the forward line, because I've been playing the back line in the reserves, and probably because they figured I was too slow or whatever. And anyway, I went to the half-back flank for the last quarter. So Uh, but anyway, I mean, I guess, yeah, I could always read the game. I know I always put my head on the chopping block. I know, you know, I took a few too, but I always put my head there too. So, you know, I've had quite a few broken jaws and teeth, and so, you know, I've had my share too. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. You know, I can't remember taking a mark. I can't remember, you know, I've got mates that used to go to Dandenong and, you know, with a key in the back, and they said, oh, God, some of those marks you've taken, I can't remember one of them. Can't remember getting a kick, you know, so, but yet I can remember, you know, 5-wicket haul playing cricket, if you know. I remember the cricket, but I don't remember the football. So I don't know, you know. I mean, obviously I was, you know, a champion junior footballer, but you know, there was a lot around at a club called East Sandringham, because we played in, well, I played in 6 premierships in junior football. Okay, my 101st game with East Sandringham junior football club, because I only went to under 13s 2 years, under 15s 2 years, under 17s. My 101st game was the first time I'd played in a losing team against Mount Waverley. I still remember that. And I remember we beat them by 14 goals in the second semi, and we beat them by 25 in the grand final. So, I mean, we're a good all-round even team. Well, I think there was only 2 of us that I can remember that played league football. Peter Bell, not the Peter Bell, Frankston Peter Bell, but another Peter Bell. He went on to play 40-odd games or something. And myself, the rest sort of... few were good VFA players straight off, but basically it was just a good solid team in junior football. So, and of course, you know, in those days they had the Lightning premierships, St.Kilda might run it, or and then it might be a state one, and you know, I'd get best on the ground playing centre forward, and but yes, it was just like everything else, peaked too early. Why? I think I ended up playing over 100 games with Dandenong. See, I don't even remember that. They told me I captained Dandenong for a year. I don't remember that. True. Now, for me to play 100 games, because I had shonky ankles, being a flat foot, to play 100 games, well, how many more I don't know. But when they had the big team of the century, that's when, you know, the guy was getting, you know, talking about me going over. He said, "Oh, you were captain in." Was I? You know, you played over 100 games. Did I? So just, I don't know. You know, don't know what it was. Whether, you know, they're having young kids, and, you know, but just don't remember it. So I can't see why I'm a legend, other than for the, you know, the worst possible reasons. So that would probably be the only reason. I'm embarrassed more than anything else, you know. Look, yeah, it annoys me that I did it. Embarrassed. I'm thankful I didn't hit him hard. So that was, you know, I was thankful of that. Although I did hit Norm Brown pretty hard, but he survived it. Yeah, so. I don't really rate any of the half-forward flankers. Okay, now I played a lot of halfback on the halfback flank, probably where I should have played the whole time. So I didn't rate a lot of them as having a lot of skill, but you know, obviously you've got to respect the skill that people like Kim Smith, Fred Cook especially, Radojevic. I mean, they were, when they played on me, they never missed. They kicked straight all the time. The next week they might kick 1-7. Well, on there they'd kick 7-1. But But yeah, just some of the full forwards that were going around. You know, Fred was more a stop at home full forward. Radojevic could lead and kick a long way and got fed beautiful. You know, he got fed so easily, and you just couldn't. I mean, sometimes you'd have to try and cover him for 5 seconds, where you just couldn't do it because up the ground they had that much space. So yeah, I'd say I didn't really. Although I played on Bernie Evans one year. This was before anyone knew of him, and you know, after about 10 minutes in the first quarter, he was half forward playing, I was half back playing. I thought, I've got to change my act here. This kid's going to run rings around me. So I did, and then, you know, it was all okay. But you know, I was just giving him too much room, and he was obviously played a lot of league football, so he was pretty nippy and skillful. So it would have been like me playing on Ian Roberts on the half forward playing. You know, well, they both ended up at Sydney, so that's about it, really. I wouldn't have liked to have played on Ray Orchard, who went to Frankston, because he was fairly mobile and a good mark. Paddy Flaherty had a lot of zip. Danny Hibbert was a top footballer in the centre. Guys like Bill Thompson, he was a class footballer. David Drosher, so you know, we sort of formed the half-back line as a rule. Yeah, so there was just, and there was a string of St Kilda players came through. Gary Colling came down at some stage. Jeff Moran, I think, definitely came there. So there was a string of, you know, ex-St Kilda players. Now, obviously, they were at the end of their tether too, but they were still good footballers on their day. Yeah. You know, things move on. Yeah, I mean, that ground was getting better. You know, the club rooms were getting better, and then all of a sudden, there's no senior club. I mean, I know the under-18s are there, but yeah, it was just a real shame. So, and it'll be a real shame if Frankston goes too, because look at the amenities there, and you know, if they could only win a few games, you know, success brings in a bit more, you know, a few more people and a few more dollars, and everything sort of counteracts. Given that, you know, obviously they haven't got a senior club that's throwing money at them, so I was always concerned about this little marriage, and this is just going to be one of the divorces. There'll probably be others. Where Frankston ends up, that's going to be interesting. Will it end up as a football team, or will it just totally disintegrate? I don't know.